Yes. You sound like you got some energy in your voice. There we go. There we go. So was I. I ain't quite there. So was I. I just pushed the coffee button. It was like it's laying there. Make this coffee while I just vegetate for a couple of minutes. No, I'm on road. As soon as that coffee went down, wrap, your black ass up. Here I go. Let's go. Let's go. You know what time it is. You chose this life. That's it. That's it. What you got going on today? Yeah, you know I like groceries. Motorcycle. Right? Yeah, chef that shit up. You went from one cooking job to another. breakfast? Make a piece of salmon and some broccoli for breakfast. Or lunch. Right now it's just coffee. I ain't about no apples. But fruit game. Yeah, I used to have black coffee and a big ass red apple. Such a weird combo, but I love it. You ain't missing nothing. It's just gonna make your teeth black. And a lot of fancy toothpaste just to keep my smile half yellow. Nah, I got the whole blue light special with the fucking 44% hydrogen peroxide gel shit and all that. I don't even be sitting here doing it because you gotta keep it in your mouth for so long. Shit makes me slobber. Slobber. Yeah, I just gotta sit there with some napkins in a garbage can and let my shit cool. So I can get some white bottoms. I got this fly ass pair of boots, but I don't go nowhere. I can wear them.
Turn to the land. They're going viral for building all-white communities in Arkansas and in Missouri. And he was interviewed on TMZ. He was asked a particular question.
Why is European heritage the purest form of European heritage, something that you embrace to the exclusion of others?
Okay, guys, you heard that question. His response was pretty interesting.
Well, for something to be what it is, it has to not be other things.
So for something to be one thing, it cannot be the other. This is his defense for starting an all-white Tampa. He wants to have shared values, shared phenotype, particular shared culture. And what he's saying is, as much as I may like you, or I may think highly of you, you are not this because you are something else. And this is important for racism. This is where it starts. There's a fundamental principle about it. Anybody who practices that will say, because you are not this, you are the other thing, and then the two things cannot mix.
He's right, you know.
But this hasn't stopped certain people from grifting. And one of the guys that grift a lot are the Hodge twins. Now the Hodge twins started off on YouTube doing, in my honest opinion, bodybuilding and satire, and they built a really big fan base. Well, their low budget videos and lack of innovation in the way they were going caused their fan base to fail. And people started to notice a change in the content.
Somebody needs to study the fallout from the Hodge, because I was really thinking about it. I was like, is this a case of chasing the bag and also inadvertently fumbling a future bag?
So this particular person was a fan of the Hodge twins, and he realized something.
Them two being these two big, light-skinned, raunchy brothers that are twins just makes sense in those kind of movies. Judd Apatow would have loved the Hodge twins, right? And I think to myself, that potential was screwed up because they thought to themselves, the conservative money will always be consistent and will always be coming. It's always going to be there.
So he understood something that's pretty interesting. First of all, the Hodge twins, they could have went to Hollywood with their natural talent, but they sold out. And how did they sell out? Well, they started making conservative media content. But what kind of content? Well, it was the content that started disrespecting blacks. If you can go to their Twitter space, they do it all day long. Look at this one, July 29th. The kids get on it too. If you think blacks today are bad, just wait for the next generation. This is a lot of their content. Look at this one. The black trans-genders are always the worst. He also says this, black guy with the pack and black hoodie embarrasses himself in AutoZone when the manager was watching. So basically what happens is the Hodge twins went from a comedic duo to an anti-black conservative duo in order to make money once their comedic duo started going down. You gotta understand something, that their mother was black. So they love their black mother a lot, but they did grift to this particular kind of conservative, anti-black leaning space alongside of people, let's say like Candace Owens or Brandon Tatum. And it's gotten...
Cupcake vineyards grow their grapes in the finest wine regions on earth, like the Italian hillsides for their Pinot Grigio.
Cupcake? That's a silly name.
Well, what's your name?
Jennifer?
Candace Owens or Brandon Tatum. And it's gotten a lot of people upset.
The Hodge twins are demons, bro. These two guys are demons. There's no other word to describe them. They have millions of followers. They've been on YouTube and they've been on social media for over 10 years, and they built their platform basically by bashing black people, and they decided to use their platform to attack a 17-year-old, a young man, not even an adult yet. And they're using their platform to try to attack not only this man's character, his family's character, before the trial even starts, so that way the public view will not think highly of him or his family.
As you can see here, you have somebody upset because the Hodge twins were basically, they're hating on Carmelo Anthony only to appease their all-white audience. Fast forward! Now, one of the things that the Hodge twins will do is they will react to videos. It just so happened that they're reacting to the Eric Orval video, and they were reacting to this new all-white town documentary, and they said something that's interesting.
To be honest, I don't want to live in the United States of America if it's not majority white. Once it becomes majority non-white, it's gonna be a much different country. It's gonna be a much different country. Well, that's just a fact. If you look at if you just look at voting statistics, how ethnicities other than white vote, this country would be totally different. So I understand the fear of white people want to live in a country that's majority non-white. I understand that fear wholeheartedly, because I don't want to live in a country that's majority non-white, because it would systematically change our country.
Now, they said something that was interesting to me. They don't want to live in America when it's not the majority of white people, even though they themselves are not white. So they're saying if the white people leave America, they're going to leave America too. What? But they're not the only guys that talk like this.
America is a nation, not just from an economic standpoint, but we also have an identity too, a cultural identity. And I'll tell you guys this too. As someone who's a first-generation American, my family's from Sudan, etc., I should not be saying this stuff, but I'm going to be honest. A lot of these guys that come from the third world, to include my old homeland, come here and scam. And the reality is, if we want America to stay America, we got to keep it majority white. We got to keep it the way it was founded.
Now that's Myron of Fresh and Fit, basically saying the same thing. He wants an all-white America, even though he's from Sudan originally. We need to keep America white, although he is not white. But there was a time where Myron, who was trying to defend white races, got into a battle with a guy, basically calling him a saying N-word.
But you're sitting behind a man on account, can't even stand behind what the you're saying. You got the nerve to talk to me when I got my real name out there, my real face out there. I'm live every day talking about actually contributing to the fight, and you got the gall to sit there and call me a saying, you piece of... I hope you wake up and have the replay. And I hope I come on a space I can see your dumb and actually talk to you. This is the problem that we have in these spaces. We got these stupid, autistic that will sit there and say, well, you're not white, so you can't talk about this, or you're... And it's like, okay, Reed, you want to go ahead and have this fight by yourself, where no one's going to take you seriously because they're going to just think you're a kid? Remember, you... That's the problem.
So this is Myron basically going off on the guy for calling him all of that. But guess what?
And you know what's also funny? I'm one of the biggest advocates for white people being able to practice and say white
idiot.
power, be able to maintain their relationship with white women, etc. I'm not actually one of the biggest proponents of white people being able to say, hey, I want to keep my race white. I actually respect that, and I fight for their ability to say that. Then you get kids like this guy that come in and try to one of their biggest advocates that has a platform that's of the other color saying this stupid. Idiots like you make me realize, damn, I shouldn't be defending these. You're lucky that I really respect freedom of speech, and I'm a free speech absolutist, so I'll fight for your ability to say the stupid that you say, you stupid.
He's still telling the guy, look, I support you, even though you're disrespecting me. I believe in free speech. I'm the one trying to help you guys stay white. Here you are being mean to me, which is crazy because those guys don't even care anything about you, but you're doing that. But this is where the Hodge twins get their Negro wake-up call. So the Hodge twins go on to Twitter, and then they put this message. Hey, Arnold, I know your community is whites only, but could you make exceptions for us two Negroes? We're not even full sub-Saharan. We are over 40% white. And Arval says this. God bless the Hodge twins. But no. It's crazy to be out there defending these Caucasians all day, but the people that you want to appeal to might be closely feeling like Arval, because the majority of the Hodge twins content is anti-black. So if your content is anti-black, it must mean that the whites who are listening to you can feel very closely to you. So they don't want to live around blacks either. But there's a problem. You're black. Byron's black. If they're building an all-white community, they don't want you there. Because it's good that you guys are nice, and God bless you, and we love the fact that you call out anti-blackness, but you're not allowed here. And it's so crazy is these guys know this. Myron knows it. Hodge twins knows it. The Hodge twins, they're getting paid from it. Myron's not even getting paid from it, but anything to be closer to White Zaddy. If you don't want to be around me, I'm not going to help you why you don't want to be around me. That's stupid, but that's how sick that some blacks are. You would rather help somebody who dislikes you, doesn't want to be anywhere around you, and fight other people to help them basically get ahead. You sound stupid. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy Yoshi D. Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk Guy, which is your for all that you do. The crap hit the bell. We're out.
Here's how people looking for a second act in retirement are making real money with nothing more than their natural speaking voices. I'm about to show you how to record voiceovers right from home without expensive gear, tech headaches, or a prior...
Hey, I'm Scott Johnson, host of Going Ringside. Breaking news, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has ordered flags at half-staff on August 1st to memorialize Hulk Hogan. He's declaring August 1st Hulk Hogan Day in Florida.
America seems to be divided on the passing of Hulk Hogan. Once a star loved by the entire country and wrestling fans all over the world, Hulk Hogan's scandal in 2015 put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, especially those sympathetic to the black American community. As we know, his daughter Brooke Hogan was dating a black man, and somehow Hulk Hogan was recorded talking negatively about black people. And ever since that day, the legacy of Hulk Hogan has been on the decline. He actually lost a lot with the WWE, was never allowed to participate in the sport again from that standpoint, and then kind of lived a life full of obscurity out of wrestling, depending on who you talk to. Not everybody is disgruntled with Hulk Hogan. A few people have come to his defense, even some black Americans, but most notably people like Michael Rappaport, Joey Swole, and others.
And you know, Hulk Hogan passed, and Hulk Hogan was a resident of Florida. Hulk Hogan, his legacy was stained by his own racism. He hasn't been able to live it down in life and death. When he died, his racism was front and center. Nobody gave him a pass. He took that legacy to the grave with him. And a lot of white supremacists feel a certain way about that.
Now, Tariq Nasheed talks about the fact that these people are coming on the defense of Hulk Hogan. And we can infer that racism is tied to their defense of the late great wrestler. But what he says next is interesting.
So Ron DeSantis, he sees what's going on. So Ron DeSantis, he wants to make a bold move since he's running things down there in Florida in office. Ron DeSantis decides to say, hey, we're going to make August 1st Hulk Hogan Day down here in Florida. So he wants to double down. So Ron DeSantis wants to be slick and just understand where that's coming from. That's basically Ron DeSantis trying to antagonize black people.
He says here that Governor DeSantis is basically looking at the climate and saying, well, listen, since these other people are getting a backlash, we will double down by supporting Hulk Hogan and giving him Hulk Hogan Day on August the 1st. You guys didn't know Hulk Hogan was born in Georgia, but he was raised in the Tampa Bay, Florida area. And he even died in Clearwater, Florida. But the next part is shocking.
And he was caught on tape using the N-word multiple times, expressing blatant anti-black sentiments, and declaring a day in his honor, especially in a state that's racially diverse as Florida. That's not about wrestling. That's a middle finger to black society.
Tariq Nasheed is 100% right on his assessment. But you know, I had to go and check this out for myself.
Today in the state of Florida, I've declared to be Hulk Hogan Appreciation Day. And in recognition of somebody who was obviously a major figure for many, many decades, particularly for kids and people in my generation, was...
Now, Ron DeSantis is definitely saying, yeah, this is a great idea. Hulk Hogan should get this particular day. And he wasn't the only person that felt like this. I went on to TikTok and look at this. Steve Kumar, best there was, best there is, best there will ever be. R.I.P. brother, legends never die. This particular comment doesn't infer that the person is excited about the day, but you can tell that he's not defensive about it not happening. Peter says, I think that's awesome that they're doing that. Hopefully soon it will be a national holiday, because without Hogan wrestling would not be what it is today.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who you think you is?
Matt says, as it should be. Notice the white people saying this. Lyle says, it's right on to honor an icon like that. That's when our treaty days began. Now, this must be a person from Europe. By the way, it's funny. Honor. I will lower my flag August 1st. R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. As you can see, another person. The individual goes, absolutely, he was born and raised SOG, Florida. Joey says, for anyone saying why, and for anyone that does not understand, Hogan was a resident of Florida. He lived in Clearwater. It would only make sense for the state of Florida to honor one of their own. That's awesome. Well done, Governor DeSantis. What? That was interesting. While Governor DeSantis can honor Hulk Hogan, who was definitely a racist, he had problems with certain other ideologies.
Yesterday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis stood by his state's decision to reject access to an AP course on African American studies. In a written letter to the College Board, DeSantis' administration writes that the class significantly lacks educational value. The Republican governor says he supports banning the course because its lessons dive too far into political agendas, broaching topics like intersectionality, Black Lives Matter movement, Black feminist literature, activism, and reparations.
As you can see, he had issues with, the Black history context being in Florida. Now, some of that was mixed in with the LGBTQ and Black Lives Matter, but ultimately you can infer that he has a problem with Black Americans in general. It's almost clear. And other people feel the same way.
So, Ron DeSanctimonious just declared August 1st as Hulk Hogan Day in Florida. to honor the guy best known for ripping his shirt off and dropping racial slurs on camera. And somehow, that gets a whole day of flag lowering and state recognition. Meanwhile, these same individuals are still foaming at the mouth over Juneteenth being a federal holiday. A day that literally marks the end of slavery in this country. A day rooted in freedom, justice, and American history. But no, that's just too woke, right? It's wild how in Florida, all you have to do is be racist and famous, and you get a damn holiday. But if you're black and asking for recognition of basic history and human rights, suddenly it's divisive.
This other individual notices this as well. And this is something that I feel a lot of people in Black America should realize, is that, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, whites and certain people are going to be more open about their discontent, and this is evident, is what's going to happen. I feel as though that many people in our community, when we have problems with one another, and you're very open to talk about it in front of other people, understand that you are doing their job, okay? What needs to happen are things like this. We need to see open racism and open biases from people from other communities. It's the only way to really officially call it out. It's to the point that no more do you need guys like the Brandon Tatums or the Candace Owens to call it out anymore. That was how it used to be. It used to be that these influencers in 2016, 2017, they were doing all the work for the whites. But now they're doing it themselves. And this is actually a good thing. Not because it's disrespectful. Then again, you can also infer that this is how people believe who will talk about it. You must understand there are other people who don't want to talk about it, but also agree with it. Just like we saw with the guy, Eric Orwell, the guy who's building that particular house in Arkansas, Missouri, that particular community. They found out that it was so many people, police officers, and even people in the government that were supporting this, right? They want to also get away from everybody else and join in with the racism. This is what is needed for people to understand that, hey, America isn't so unified as we thought. You have so many people out there saying things like, oh man, racism don't exist no more. It's all good. It's all about money. I bet you if Hulk Hogan was black and he said something about white people and it was negative and it was derogatory, the state of Florida would not honor the person. Do you think that Ron DeSantis is unaware about Hulk Hogan's prior history when it comes to making commentary on blacks? Hulk Hogan cried. He asked for forgiveness. So of course he knows. What happens here is you have a governor who doesn't care. And clearly you have many whites that are out there that feel the same way. Which means that you can disrespect black people and still be looked at as a legend. But if you're Bill Cosby, and I know it's a whole different story there, right? You cannot be looked as a legend if you do anything to white people. That's just what's going to happen. You can be Hulk Hogan, King Leopold of the Congo, and to white people to a certain degree, you can be looked at as somebody that is great. But a lot of blacks, we're sitting around thinking that it's still on equal footing. It's not on equal footing. You haven't arrived yet. You gotta understand that there are a lot of people that actually believe what Hulk Hogan said about their kids not dealing with black men or black women. A lot of people in the black community go around talking that stuff. Oh yeah, I want to get me a white wife or a white husband. Okay, do you know why Hulk Hogan is getting so much support? Because you got a lot of whites who feel the exact same way. Don't want to say it. You're not going to get anybody out there protesting from the white community for the most part. You might get a few white liberals, but a lot of them, okay, secretly feel the same way, in my honest opinion, that Hulk Hogan might, all right, or have certain agreements with his stance. And we gotta wake up and understand that we are out here, for the most part, for ourselves. And if we don't do it for ourselves and take care of our own people, nobody else will. Because as long as you got a governor like Ron DeSantis, he is not worried about you. He's worried about the whites and those people in the state. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy LC Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.
been teasing and bleaching has left you with some country fried hair? Well, come get yourself some fixins and Pantene.
What is going on here?
My girl taught me how to wipe my ass at 23 years of age, gang.
So you did not wipe before 23. You just walked around with dookie.
My girl taught me how to wipe my ass at 23 years of age, gang. I used to stand up to wipe my ass.
First of all, it doesn't feel right you calling me the N-word. Second of all, when you stand up, the door to the dookie is closed. So you cannot wipe correctly while you are standing up unless if you bend over like Diddy just to wipe. All your options are wrong, bro.
Ain't no lies. Or might ask me any question, I'll tell you the truth.
Honestly, you should have lied about this, bro. And we are not going to ask you anything. We don't want to hear more stinky adventures.
The truth is the truth, cuz. That's it.
You should lie, bro. I am giving you permission to lie. For your sake and our sake, please.
I ain't got a fake. I'm homeless and broken here, gang.
Bro, do you have anything positive to say about your life? All this negative stuff, you sound like Broadway.
I used to stand up to wipe my ass. Bleep, bleep. Swear to God, I don't lie about nothing, gang. What you need to know?
Less information about you. That is what I need to know. Less. Please don't tell me anything about yourself again.
I don't lie about nothing, gang. What you need to know? I'm a real fake, gang. They faking to the camera.
Bro, it is better to fake to the camera than tell the whole world you have been walking around with Dookie for 22 years.
I'm on wicked films. You got no motion. You can't get on no films.
I know he just spoke correct English, but I don't know what he just said. And thank God I thought it's like God is trying to protect me from hearing more negative activities because I doubt it's positive.
You got no motion. You can't get on no films. So stop playing with me.
I would never play with you. I don't like the smell of Dookie in my playground.
Stop playing with me.
Start wiping it.
Bro, don't ask him questions. He is going to say something worse, especially not questions about his Dookie habits.
Start wiping it.
I've been wiping my ass. I just did it wrong, gang.
See, he did it and did it wrong. Knowing him, that probably means he used his bare hands and did not wash.
I've been wiping my ass. I just did it wrong, gang. I used to, you know how it is when you first jamming with a girl.
Again, I don't know what he just said, and thank God I don't.
You know how it is when you first jamming with a girl, and they see you, I get a little comfortable, you know what I'm saying? So I'm in there, you know, she's like, why you standing up? I got done taking a big fat dump. I take a lot of dumps.
Okay, that is it. He's about to start talking about his lot of dumps. And revenue does not pay me enough to listen to this man talking about his many dumps. That's it. I'm out.
This shit is wild.
In other news, Pennsylvania residents are going to be happy to hear this. It just came out. There's a new website where any Pennsylvania resident, as long as you live within a zip code in the state, you can apply to have your auto insurance rates reduced significantly. All you have to do.
Let's go to North Carolina, where you might expect there would be perhaps a greater per capita of these parents. So here we have a bigot. A bigot ignoring a black man who was just trying to help.
I've taken the classic 5 grams of creatine a day for over a decade. If I'm being honest, I could never tell if it was doing anything or not. There was no strength increase I could put in measure, and no obvious mental benefit I could feel. But it's cheap, it's safe, it's backed by a ton of research, and a lot of other athletes are taking it. And I always wondered, what if I'm one of the non-responders to creatine? because studies estimate that up to 30% of people have no real change in stored creatine or performance. And recently, a few new studies came out that got me thinking that maybe the issue might be the dose. So I decided to test this out. I went from 5 grams to 20 grams a day to see if a higher dose would have any impact. I wasn't expecting much, but by week 4, I did notice something new. This video, I want to walk you through what the latest research says about creatine, why some people might not respond, how I structured my new creatine protocol, what I personally experienced both mentally and physically, and whether taking 4 times the standard dose is actually worth it. So let's get into it. So why should you care about creatine in the first place? Well, it's one of the most studied supplements out there. There's a large body of evidence showing it can improve your performance. Creatine works by helping your body regenerate ATP, which is a primary energy source for high-intensity activity like lifting weights or sprinting. And the idea behind supplementing is that if more creatine is stored in your muscles, it means more available energy. You're able to push a little bit harder, get 1 or 2 more reps, hit that like button quicker, and get more progress over time. It's also considered very safe. Creatine has been studied in athletes, older adults, and even kids. It's one of the few supplements that almost everyone agrees is worth trying. But there's a side of creatine that's rarely talked about. Research shows that about 5% of creatine is stored in your brain, where it plays a role in cognitive function, mood regulation, and resilience under stress. Studies have found that higher creatine levels in the brain are associated with better short-term memory, increased reaction time, and less mental fatigue, especially in people who are sleep deprived, on a plant-based diet, or under high stress. And here's something most people don't know. The brain doesn't saturate with creatine as efficiently as muscle tissue. For some people, the standard 5-gram dose would benefit from a higher dose. So I jumped straight to 20 grams a day. Instead, I gradually increased the dose over 3 weeks to give my body time to adapt and minimize side effects, because some people do report bloating or mild discomfort with digestion when increasing creatine too fast, especially if you're not well hydrated. So to minimize the risk of issues, I also increased my water intake to above 4 liters per day as I followed the ramp-up protocol. Week 1, I doubled my intake to 10 grams per day, split it to 2 5-gram doses. Week 2, I bumped up to 15 grams, split it to 2 doses. And week 3, I went to the full 20 grams, 10 grams at breakfast, and 10 at dinner. Taking creatine with meals makes it easier to remember and also further helps minimize any stomach issues. And I've been doing 20 grams daily now for about 2 months. And there are a few reasons I wanted to take this experiment seriously. First, I wanted to see if I was leaving any gains on the table. After almost 15 years of lifting weights consistently and pushing myself, I've hit a point of diminishing returns. It can take months to hit a personal best in an exercise, and at this stage, every extra rep matters. The second reason was a little more personal. Both sides of my family have a history of Alzheimer's. A few years ago, I did a DNA test and found out that I also increased easier. And I've always been skeptical of healing supplements, especially things like creatine.
We take care of a lot of
If you use castor oil, you'll grow your hair longer. If you use argan oil, you'll decrease hair loss.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone! Get your fucking truck! Leave me alone! Get your fucking truck, kill cops! I'm leaving now! Get me out of the fucking phone! Let's go, bitch! Let's go! Get the fucking truck! Yeah. Don't get out of the truck no more! Don't get out of the truck no more!
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen. So in today's episode, we're going to be reacting to a video that's going viral of a black man who thought that he was almost lynched by a company of construction workers.
Right, and these white folks might just lose their company because of this reason. Now, Americans, both black and white, are not happy at all with this incident, and those who don't want to talk a lot, let's just watch what happened and then we come back and talk about it. But to say the least, it's quite unfortunate that this is happening in 2025 in America, a country that is supposed to be safe for all citizens here. But what do I say? This does not shock me at all, only that it's quite unfortunate that it's happening in 2025. Let us
Right, let's watch and then we come back and talk about it. You can consider subscribing if you're new to our channel and leave us a comment on what you think about this episode. Let's watch.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone! Get your fucking phone!
Alright,
I'm going to show you the rest of the video, but let me give you some backstory as quickly as I can. Clyde, North Carolina, young black man is delivering mulch to a landfill dump spot, okay? He gets there 45 minutes early. He parks by the gate. Employee comes and says, normally everybody parks up the road and waits, doesn't come this far down. He said, I'm sorry, I've never been here before. The guy said, no big deal, I'm going to open the gate, don't come in until 6:30. The owner of the place's son comes shortly after and goes, no, you shouldn't have been down here. Now you got to go behind everyone who's arrived since you and wait in line behind them. He said, we say a few words about it, and then I follow the instructions and go back there. He's sitting back there waiting, and all of a sudden that same guy and 5 of his friends come rolling up. He has a pistol on his hip, and he starts yelling about, you took my phone. So 30 to 40 minutes of him accusing him of taking his phone and demanding to search. Before he finally says, fine, just search my truck, and the guy doesn't find the phone. Then his dad shows up, they check the cameras, and go, okay, and let him go. He goes to dump his load, just like, this is ridiculous. In the meantime, that guy apparently finds the phone, according to him, on the ground outside where his truck was. Like, he couldn't have dropped it there? No, he assumes that he stole it and then had thrown it by the truck. So he comes flying up the hill with the same 5 guys again and starts threatening him. And then they get 2 bulldozers and flip over his trailer and tip his truck over on his side. That's not on video, but this other exchange is, and this is absolutely insane.
What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? You dropped that truck, huh? Go get your truck. I ain't done that truck. I ain't done that truck. Get your vehicle. Now. You're leaving. You're going. Left. You're going. Going where? You're going out. Who? You. For what? For video. For video when I'm going out? What are you talking about? No, I'm done. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Get your fucking phone. Leave me alone. Fucking truck, I'm leaving now. Get me out of the fucking phone. Let's go, bitch. Let's go. Get in the fucking truck. Yeah. Don't get out of the truck no more.
These brothers and this father, which we'll later on see in the video, right? They apparently own a construction company, and later on, after the video started trending, they came out giving statements here, and they were saying that they do not allow use of foul language, they do not discriminate, they're not racist, that family, yeah. But before we even get to the statement that they were making, we've heard how these brothers are speaking, the language they're using on this guy, and you're asking yourself, is all this hate warranted? What exactly made them treat this black man in that way? And if it's stealing a phone, do you really genuinely believe their phone was even stolen to begin with?
Right, I do believe that this was a racism incident, and no matter how much they apologize, they're only doing it to save face.
Right, but let's keep on watching, guys, because Americans are not happy.
The sheriff's department's coming to get rid of you and your fucking body.
Okay.
So stay in your truck.
Yes, sir.
Before something bad happens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So right now, the one approaching is the sheriff place, and he's supposed to maintain law and order. But let's watch how he behaves as well.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Shut your door. Shut your mouth.
You're the sheriff. You're the sheriff, right? Yes. And you weren't trying to talk. Captain. I'm trying to run it down.
Shut the door.
Can I roll the window down?
No, roll the window up, roll the other window down.
And that's all on recorded.
I'm gonna put you in
That's all on recorded for slamming on the door.
I didn't slam it on
You
the
did
door.
that? Yes, you did. Have it recorded.
Get in the door.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all going to jail. Y'all going down. This town going down. I'm going down.
this place and the environment, it looks like a very unsafe place for this black man. And the fact that the sheriff wasn't even partial to begin with this whole incident, it makes me feel like, of course it's just my feelings, nobody's no one else's thoughts, it makes me feel like he's being taken care of by the family and really good, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, this town going down.
That man had to believe he was about to record his own lynching. That was the energy that was there. That's what it felt like was going to happen. And the fact that he was able to walk away from that, he is exceptionally lucky. But that is unacceptable. He needs an attorney. This is Clyde, North Carolina again. That business, apparently it was the owner and his son that did all that stuff. This is insane. Anyone who can help, I'm going to tag him on TikTok. Please reach out to him. But this is unacceptable, and I want to hear what law enforcement in the area is going to do about it.
They wanted to unalive that man. They wanted to unalive that man, accusing him of stealing the phone. You come back with 5 guys. You got a pistol in your hand. You're tipping up, you're flipping over his truck.
The thing I can't, okay, one question I'm asking myself right now is, what makes a human being believe that they own another human being's life or right to live or die? Why put such amount of fear on somebody else just to get your point across, even if you believe that his phone was stolen?
Not forgetting the fact that they all deserve to be in that country, and they earned the right to be in that country.
This is a capsule. Time capsule with the power to reverse.
This is what my forearms look like. They're one of the most underrated muscle groups. First of all, they're always visible. When you put on a t-shirt, the first thing that shows your hard work in the gym is your forearms. Secondly, they are involved in almost every exercise you do at the gym. And thirdly, forearms are not just about aesthetics but also grip strength, which comes into play not only in the gym but also in everyday life, like when you need to carry a heavy bag of groceries or simply open a can of tomatoes. So now I'm going to show you my workout using equipment available in almost any gym. The first thing you need to start any workout with is a warm-up, and forearm training is no exception. I usually begin with a light joint warm-up. This can include rotating your wrists in one direction, then in the other. After that, I start opening and closing my fingers. Next, we move to dynamic stretching. Here, it's important to perform everything smoothly and work within a comfortable range of motion. 20 repetitions for each exercise will be more than enough. Now, after the warm-up, we can move on to the main part of our workout. The first exercise is reverse grip arm curls. This targets our brachioradialis muscle, the largest in our forearms. That's why it makes sense to start the workout with this exercise. While you're still fresh and full of energy, you can perform this exercise with either a straight bar or a curve. Using a curved bar will be more comfortable. It will reduce the strain on your wrist. It's also better to use a grip without your thumbs and ensure your wrists don't drop during the lift. Don't chase heavy weights. It's better to focus on your exercise technique. This way you target the intended muscle more effectively and avoid injuries. We'll perform all exercises for 12 to 15 repetitions for 3 sets. The second exercise is the wrist curls with a dumbbell. This exercise engages muscles responsible for flexing your wrist. And just like the brachioradialis muscle, it gives the main bulk to our forearms. This exercise should be performed while bent over to maintain tension throughout the entire range of motion. You can do this standing like I am, resting your arm on your thigh and adjusting the angle by moving your legs. Or you can do it sitting on a bench, where you can also adjust the angle with your leg. There are 2 ways to perform this exercise. The first is the classic version, where we simply flex the wrist. The second, more advanced version is when we lower the dumbbell onto the fingers and then lift it. The third exercise is finger curls with a dumbbell. This is one of my favorite exercises.
It works the outer part of our forearm. I prefer to do it standing, bracing my thumb against my leg for better stabilization. Here, it's important not to rush, but to control the weight flow.
Let's roll, baby. Slaps.
I'm Rand Spear. When you're injured, you need a law firm that fights, not one that settles for scraps. We're not afraid to go head-to-head with the insurance companies. Not every law firm can say that. Don't take a lowball offer. Get what you deserve. The man Rand.
What do you mean all zombies are undead, but not all undead are zombies? You speaking reals now? You casting spells? Are you Tupac? Can we get one intro about you pointing the gun at me? All this black on cat violence. Why? Why? I'm sorry. You should be sorry. Why in America everybody's strapped, but everybody ain't ready to get blasted? Goddamn, I said I'm sorry. Yeah, you about to be. When we start this video, and we're gonna do it right this time. Okay? Restart. Voice. What in the historical catastrophes is that? Oh, it's a new. What did we just say about doing it right and no violence? Well, it won't go off until I push this button. I thought maybe the sooner we get some radiation up in here, we get some zombie bad bitches. You know what I'm saying, like? Long game. Y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying, yeah. Boy, no one's trying to see Mr. X. We talking about waifus. Oh, come on! Restart! What the deuce? Hey! You better not! On your mama's mama, if you finish that shit, I will never feed you again. Well, wait, no, on second thought, it's still worth it. Alright, like Voice said, all zombies are undead. But not all undead are zombies. Now what does this mean? It's simple. To call something undead is to put it in a general category encompassing any creature that has returned from death or exists in a state between life and death. With the examples being vampires, ghosts, ghouls, skeletons, and obviously zombies. But what we're focusing on for this video are the pros and cons for the intelligent and unintelligent zombie. Zombie waifu! Yes, zombie waifu. They're all immediate smashes, no regrets. Voice, we do not support necrophilia here. If that body's moving and grooving, it ain't dead in my eyes. You know what I'm saying, viewer? Alright! Now, what is the folklore surrounding zombies? Now, this may surprise some of you, but the original idea for zombies is a lot different from the Western modern version. You know, like the Living Dead and the Infection zombies, and you know, Resident Evil. Yeah, they're not like that. At least, not exactly. In Haitian culture, being a zombie is often seen as a condition where a person remains constantly under the control of a boker, or, in other words, a sorcerer. So yes, in the original idea for zombies, they were controlled by sorcerers, not started by an infection. Which, in a way, is a lot better because these don't try to bite you. They'll just kill you or do whatever the boker tells them to do. However, the boker, aka the sorcerer, must regularly administer a special potion to keep the victim in an unconscious state and maintain control. Now, this control that the boker has over the zombies can apparently be countered by salt. The salt is supposed to be like an antidote that brings the zombie back to their senses. The zombie just has to technically taste the salt first. Now, the term zombie itself is believed to have originated from the West African word nzambi, or zombi with an N. Man, you can't pronounce shit. I am trying! Now, however you pronounce this word, shut up! It means God or spirit of a dead person. From what I read, it seemed like the idea of the zombies was brought to the Americas through the slave trade, and it eventually became associated with the reanimated dead. Now, in the 20th century, the concept of zombies gained popularity through literature, and two examples being through authors like Edgar Allan Poe or H.P. Lovecraft. And just to move on my point here, the modern idea for zombies, or the human-eating, flesh-eating types, that's usually started by a virus, started in 1960. The Night of the Living Dead, directed by George Romero. And from what I read, the modern idea for a zombie is different from the Haitian idea for a zombie. From what I read, the more modern type zombie is usually either a reawakened corpse with a ravenous appetite, or someone bitten by another zombie infected with a zombie virus. The modern zombie is usually portrayed as strong but robotic, and they have rotting flesh, and their only mission is to feed. And they typically don't have conversations or talk, but they do grunt a little. But now, this definition doesn't really talk about more intelligent like zombies. Ones that can fully talk, they retain their memories, and they don't always seem to require, eating brains. They may not even spread a virus. Now, the idea of the intelligent zombies seems to have started with movies like The Return of the Living Dead. In this movie, there were zombies that could move quickly and also speak and retain some of their former intelligence. And that movie was made in 1985. And it's important when you think of intelligent zombies that you realize that the creators kind of do what they want with the zombies' abilities. How smart they are, what they can do, if they can get pregnant, depends completely on the writer. Or in other words, what I'm saying is they don't really care about the lore of natural zombies. For instance, as far as intelligent zombies go in fiction, there was one in the movie called The Army of the Dead named Athena, who was an alpha zombie. Now, alpha zombies in the movie called The Army of the Dead were smarter variants of the normal zombies, and they were capable of organizing into a form of society. They were self-aware, and they were capable of creating relationships, which is made evident in the movie by Athena, the queen of the zombie horde at the time, being pregnant. Now, she was impregnated by another alpha zombie named Zeus. Either way, she was impregnated by somebody, and a baby was made. So who's to say a human could do the same thing with her? Now, that wouldn't stop them from getting bit and turned, because this zombie does have the ability to turn humans into zombies. But you're a gooner, you're horny, and despite her, looks, you smash almost anything once. I do it twice. Ew, weird. Coward. The other abilities of the alpha zombies in the Army of the Dead include their awareness of their surroundings, enabling them to dodge attacks and engage others in decisive actions. Their body doesn't decay, and in fact, it gets stronger. But, and you can count this as a con, their flesh still seems to gain a death-like appearance. And these alpha zombies are intelligent enough to use tools and even use things like a protective mask or a horse. An alpha zombie's body is durable, at least enough to withstand handgun fire or bodily wounds, as long as their brain stays intact anyway. And they remain capable of animalistic cognition. And animalistic cognition is just the mental abilities of non-human animals. It's basically the study of how animals acquire, process, and store and use information to guide their actions. So, with that being said, would someone like Athena be wise to smash? In my opinion, no, unless you're someone like Nemesis from Resident Evil. Because besides her appearance, real ones will still smash night. And if they do, they're gonna get bit, because they can still turn people. And even though she has more self-awareness than the average zombie, does not mean that she would not bite you. I mean, this is like sticking your hand in a growling dog's mouth. You're taking a lot of risk for very little reward. And if she bites you, you're not turning into an alpha zombie. Oh no, you're turning into a shambler. A regular brain-dead zombie that skin's gonna rot away. 'Tis a fool's errand's voice. It ain't worth it. But will she bite you though? I mean, unless she has a reason not to, or Zeus has given her an order not to, she probably will bite you. And to make it worse, voice, they can turn cats, specifically tigers, into zombies.
Maria realized she booked the wrong holiday dates online. Fortunately, her travel company uses Zendesk, which means a Zendesk and
cats, specifically tigers, into zombies. Oh, hell no! Okay, then screw that. Oh, you okay with humans getting bit and turning, but not cats, right? Hey, no one says anything about zombie tigers. That's a bit excessive. Wait, so you think Nemesis is cool and you find Lady Dimitrescu attractive, even though she's not a zombie, but zombie tigers is the way you draw the line? Yep. Oh, okay. Weak. What was that? It's just my allergies, voice. There's too many pussycats in here. Man, you ain't slick. Alright, my turn. Now my list is short. I found 2 zombie waifus that are undeniably waifu material. And they're way better than the ones Knight talked about. Well, that's because they're from an anime, you weeb. Hey, we weebs have good taste. Plus, my choices don't have nasty skin. You're not going to talk about that new one. We're talking about the new one. Of course you are. Alicia from the anime Clevitis is an undead, or more or less a zombie knight, who was once a hero, tasked to defeat the Devil Beast King of the South, Clevitis. And I believe she went along to defeat Clevitis with 12 other people, or 12 other heroes, I should say. And long story short, they all lost horribly. And just to get to my point, Clevitis does eventually bring Alicia back from the dead, or more specifically, he resurrects her with monster's blood, granting her near immortality except if the blood runs dry or if it's reclaimed. So to be more precise, Alicia was brought back by supernatural means, or aka Clevitis' blood. However, like a folklore or more or less a necromancer raising the dead, this comes with some consequences. And the main one is, Clevitis can control her. She is in fact compelled to be absolutely obedient to him. And like I said before, he can also reclaim his blood, and when he does that, it seems that she does, die again. So yeah, that sucks for her, but on the bright side, she doesn't have to bite anyone, she doesn't spread any diseases that make others like her, her skin isn't rotting, and she still looks the way she did when she died. She also has all her memories, speech, and all the skills she had before she died. She's basically a zombie without most of the cons that most zombies have. And from watching the anime, I can assume that her body still works like a regular human while she's, moving around. Now, she can't die no matter what unless the blood she has in her is reclaimed by Clevitis. But she still seems to breathe. The only difference now is she doesn't seem to need to breathe. Her lungs can be crushed by water pressure and she can still be alive. And I have to assume all her other body functions work like a regular human, because right after she was resurrected, Clevitis demanded that she give her, milk to this baby to feed. She couldn't do it, however, because she's a virgin. That's okay, though. She's cute. She'll either get laid eventually in the series, or she'll find a nice cat to cuddle up with. Yeah. Anyway, she has no con other than the obvious obedience thing, and the fact that Clevitis may never let her get laid. But other than that, she's cool. Now, the next wife I chose is a bit of a unique case, because unlike the zombies we talked about at the beginning of this video, this one was made from multiple deceased female body parts, which made me and Knight think that maybe, just maybe, that she wasn't an undead, because technically an undead has to have been alive at some point. And if you haven't guessed already, I'm talking about the Bride from Creature Commandos, also aka known as the Bride of Frankenstein, which I don't know why she's still called that, because she hates this dude, and for good reason. This dude's a creep disguised as a nice guy. Anyway, the main reason she's on this list is because the site I looked her up on specifically called her a zombie. But me and Knight had our doubts, because there's another type of waifu that she's similar to, and that type of waifu is the flesh golem. Yes, I said golem, made of flesh. Now I'll get into what a flesh golem is in another video, because what's important here is recognizing the difference between the bride and a flesh golem. And the main difference I found was their sentience, their sense of self, and their free will. A flesh golem, or a golem, is more of a construct, and in the official interpretation of it, it does not have a free will, or their free will is limited. And since this is the case, the bride is not in this mold whatsoever, because she also has a will of her own, complex inner life, and I mean a very complex inner life. I mean, she basically slept with the person who created her, basically her father, and she was made to be the bride of Frankenstein. And I mean, I guess their relationship could have worked out if Frankenstein wasn't so damn aggressive, and if she didn't scream at the sight of him as soon as she was born, and then curb him for a guy who's already married who created her. Yeah, I can see this relationship going places. Oh, and before I forget, even though she herself never technically died, I consider her an undead, because an undead being does include a corpse that is reanimated by supernatural forces. The only difference with her is she's a combination of several deceased women's body parts formed into one and reanimated. So yeah, zombie. But does she have any cons? Look at me when I say this, viewer. Who do you think made the thumbnail? 'Twas me! Me all along! Do you not see that perfect Marge Simpson hairstyle? Those perfectly made stitches? And that sexy reanimated zombie body? I'd risk it all. I'd risk it all, man. I can't even blame this guy anymore. If I was in his position, I'd do the same thing. You know what? Screw it. I don't care what the haters say. This guy's Chad. He may have died by getting mangled by Frankenstein, but he died a winner. Anyway, does she have any cons? The only thing I can find is that she is borderline immortal. She has not aged since the year 1831. Damn, you're an old bitch. And again, she is made out of several deceased female corpses, but who cares about that? Small stuff, right? It's not a con. There's definitely a con. Shut up! No one asked you. Now where was I? Oh yes, she has a pro. She has superhuman stamina. The bride's muscles produce less fatigue, toxins, and can exercise in a better condition than the finest human athletes. You know what that means, right, viewers? She can go all night long. Haha, giggity. Hey, what's that? Is my cat food? Oh! That's what you get for telling me to shut up, you son of a...
90% of students with a 4 point. Here are 7 YouTube settings that you need to turn on right now to make sure you maximize your growth on YouTube. Now, these are very simple settings, but they can make a huge difference to the amount of subscribers and views you get per video. So make sure you listen to every single one on this list. Without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So firstly, we're going to start off with these things here. These things are called channel tags. Now you can find these in the YouTube Studio under settings and then click on channel. Now I guess if you haven't seen them before, they're kind of similar to the tags you put in the video, but instead they're actually for your channel as well. Now I've heard a lot of people say that these don't really make a huge difference, but to be honest, I completely disagree. Personally, I think that channel tags are the perfect way for you to describe to YouTube what your channel is about and the content you're going to post. Now especially if you're new to YouTube or you haven't yet posted many videos, YouTube won't exactly have much data about you or your content. So when you eventually do post your first video, it's going to be difficult for the algorithm to find the right audience for that video because of such a lack of data. So that's where the channel tags can come in really helpful to a new YouTube channel, because you're basically giving YouTube as much information about you and your channel, the content, before you even post, which can help when you do post, make sure that that video gets pushed to the right people because you've pre-told YouTube all the details it needs to know. I hope that makes sense. Now I always make sure that whenever I set up a new channel, it's the first thing I do. Just go in there, put as many keywords down related to your niche and your content as possible, and it just gives you the best head start to a new niche or new channel as you can possibly get, guys. Look, it's free, it takes like literally 2 minutes, so just go in there, if you haven't yet already, just put as many keywords related to your niche as possible in there, and it'll give you that boost for the algorithm going forward. Okay then, so this now brings us on to the next setting, which is found just on the channel section here in Studio, and this one is upload defaults. This little feature can be a huge time saver, and it can also really help your channel growth, so I would absolutely recommend you take advantage of this. So basically what you see here is sort of like upload default template, so everything you input in here will automatically be added to your new videos every single time you post them. Now I don't ever really touch the title because obviously titles change all the time and you don't want the stuff of each, but I always make sure to have some stuff of these here. In the description bit, I always have links to socials, I add a couple of keywords to my niche, and then I have 3 hashtags related to my niche that goes on every single video. These hashtags are really useful in making sure the algorithm suggests my content to the right audience. So you need to make sure you need to add at least 3 hashtags in here too related to your niche. And also if you have any social media links or website links, add them in there too. It means you don't have to go in there and do it every single time. Next, I always set this to unlisted, and I'll tell you why in the next setting. And then down here we have tags levels. Again, this bit is so helpful, guys, because it saves you so much time instead of having to do this over and over again for each video. Now I always fill this about half full with tags related to my niche, and they are the same every single time because I want to make sure that my videos are shown to the people in that niche. I don't completely fill it, guys, I do leave some space for other tags because some videos are slightly different, so I need more kind of like specific tags out there. So I only fill it half full niche tags, and the rest I do per video. So make sure when you click on the setting, guys, yours kind of looks similar to this. Just make sure you put as many niche specific tags in there as possible, just so every single time you post, You don't miss any off, and it's all really done for you. It makes life so much easier, I promise. So then, next up is the visibility. Guys, this one is super, super important. You probably haven't heard any of the top YouTubers saying this before, but basically, I always set my new video to unlist 24 hours before I post it. So it basically sits in the algorithm on YouTube 24 hours, unlisted, and then I click live afterwards. Now this sounds like a lot of time to have it sat there not doing anything, but I do it because it allows YouTube and the algorithm to gather as much data about the video as possible before it goes live. Because giving it 24 hours lets YouTube do all of the relevant checks and stuff before it goes out. So after 24 hours, it will know the right audience, it will analyse the metadata, and of course it will prevent any copyright issues and so on. Now I personally believe that this gives each video the very best head start before it goes live. Now I can't actually point to any evidence this works, but personally I found it works for me. And there are a lot of other people who do this as well who don't actually talk about it. So when you next post a video, just make sure it's unlisted for at least 24 hours before it goes live. This way the algorithm will have enough time to gather as much data about the video as possible and make sure that it goes to the right audience once it goes live. It's honestly guys, it works a treat for me. Okay then, so the next setting is actually down here too, when you upload a new video. So this section here, publish to subscriptions feed and notify subscribers. Now on the face of it, this sounds like a setting you want to turn on and leave on, of course. And in some cases, you do. But there are specific cases where you, as it could really hurt your channel and your video growth. Okay then, so to explain what I mean, let's say that you have a travel channel like this one here. 99% of the content this channel posts is just related to travel and travel videos. So all of these subscribers here you see are people who just love travel, they love watching travel videos. So if you keep posting travel videos, you need to make sure this setting is always turned on because you're posting travel videos to a travel audience. But let's say on this channel you wanted to experiment with a different type of content. Let's say you wanted to try a new niche, or personal development or personal finance video. In that case, you want to turn this setting on. Now that's because the original subscribers to this channel are not going to be interested in that personal finance or personal growth. So if you do post a new video in a different niche, like a personal finance niche for example, you don't want the YouTube algorithm to suggest that video to your subscribers because those subscribers aren't going to be interested. And if the algorithm does push it for those subscribers and they don't click on it, it's going to really hurt the video's rating. So if you click off this setting, when you do post this new video, the algorithm will not show this new video to your new subscribers. The algorithm will show this video to people who it thinks will be interested in it. So you're going to bypass a lot of people who are interested in it, and that's exactly what you want. So whenever you want to experiment with a new type of content or a new niche, it's completely different to the audience you already have. You need to make sure this is turned off, because otherwise it can really hurt your channel's growth. However, if you do continue to post videos that are related to your niche and your audience, make sure it's always clicked on. If you have any questions on that one, just let me know down below. I'll try and clear it up for you. Okay then, so the next setting you want to make sure you do correctly is automatic chapters. Now these are these things here that basically slice up your video into chapters. Now I use them all the time because I love them, and it allows viewers to be able to skip in between sections easily. Some creators love them, some creators hate them. It's completely down to personal preference. Now I would absolutely always recommend you split your video into chapters, but that's just me. Now this button looks nice and convenient because it essentially says that YouTube will do the hard work for you. But this can actually be really bad and really ruin your video. Because when I do chapters, I know exactly what's what, I know all of the correct timings, I know all the correct titles, whereas YouTube, on the other hand, just takes a wild guess. And 99% of the times, it gets it wrong. So if you do add chapters onto your video, guys, do not select automatic chapters because automatic chapters splitting of your content and doing what I think is correct. That's a complete no-go. It's either chapters yourself, you do yourself, or don't select it at all because letting YouTube do automatic chapters.
This is the premium Garmin Duffel 45 liter by Hataday. It's a transforming 2-in-1 travel duffel bag for long weekends, weddings, and business.
Apparently there's this picture of actress Tracy Ellis Ross that's going viral right now, and I was trying to figure out why. I had to read the comments. Yeah, fans are speculating that Tracy has had a BBL. Yeah, those fans gotta be from Generation Z. They gotta be born after year 1995. Because see, if you from the generation like me, you a millennial or above, you know this ain't no BBL. This is Tracy Ellis Ross eating well. That girl been thick as hell. You need to go back and rewind some of your girlfriend DVDs that you got at home. Look at the collection. I think it's on Hulu, Prime, one of them now. And you'll see the Jones was...
the Jones was Jones. Sick!
Alright, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So the finals for the 2025 Tampa Pro just wrapped up in men's open bodybuilding. I was a little bit surprised by some of these placings. Let's go through the top 6 placings here. In 6th place, you had John De La Rosa. I was a little bit surprised by that. I had John ahead of Bruno Santos. The judges, however, had Bruno Santos in 5th ahead of John De La Rosa. Now, 4th also really surprised me. John Jewett in 4th place. I really thought that the package that John Jewett brought here was incredible. I thought he was going to be top 3, hands down. But the judges had him in 4th. In 3rd place, again, I want to say how impressed I was with Joe Palacios, the guy in the royal blue trunks. Like I said, when he came out at prejudging on his individuals, I wasn't super familiar with who he was. And when he came out, I was like, man, this guy is wide as a house. He's huge. Then I'm watching him pose. He turns around from the back. He's got striated glutes. He's got deep hamstrings, a ton of detail. He's in really good shape. But just the width of this guy. I'm glad to see kind of a newer guy do well here, a guy that we're not familiar with, because he was really impressive. There were so many shots, so many poses that he had. I was like, man, this guy is crazy how wide he is. Even in some of the side shots, he's like the widest guy. And I think this is a really big placing for him, too. This is a really deep lineup, really good show. This is a good top 3 placing for him now. 2nd place, you're Quentin Araya, and in 1st place you had Jordan Hutchinson picking up the win. I can't say I'm surprised about this. Look, Jordan, going into the show, Jordan was, I think, the most impressive. I think I even said that in a couple of videos. I think the physique updates that we saw from Jordan were more impressive than anybody else. His conditioning, size, the guy looked undeniably great going into the show. And he looked just as great when it came to the stage. He was probably one of, if not, the most conditioned guy. You could really see the hard work that he had put into this show. Now, like I said, him and Quentin were very apples and oranges. I had a feeling they were going to go with Jordan. I think that Jordan, from top to bottom, was very evenly conditioned. I feel like with Quentin, this was a really good look for him. I just felt like there were certain shots where you couldn't see his conditioning as well. Like the most muscular, for example, you weren't seeing those deep striations in the chest. You weren't seeing the detail in his shoulders. But then, like in the side chest pose, you could see the striations in Quentin's chest. You could see the striations in his shoulders. Then he would hit like a front lat spread and he would look amazing. Then he'd hit like a back lat spread and maybe not look as good. I just feel like the upper body conditioning was lacking a little bit for Quentin in some poses, and I feel like that's why they gave it to Jordan. I think Jordan deserved it. Jordan's conditioning here from head to toe was very complete, and he was feeling. Now, like I said, Quentin was probably my favorite physique in this lineup, regardless of the condition that he was in. One of the most beautiful shapes and structures that I think we've seen in bodybuilding in a long time. Talk about a young, up-and-coming talent that just has the genetics for bodybuilding. Quentin is that guy. So I feel like you really can't help but root for a guy like Quentin. These are the physiques that we want to see get rewarded. And like I said, this was, I'm making these comparisons with the conditioning as if Quentin wasn't in shape. He was in shape. This was a really good Quentin. It just wasn't as dialed as Jordan. And Jordan's well known as a fucking dialed bodybuilder. Conditioning-wise, this was a good version of Quentin. I think throughout the upper body, he had like that kind of flat look through the chest in some shots. He was lacking that detail in some shots. Whereas Jordan, pretty much every shot that Jordan's hitting, you're seeing that deep level of detail, that grainy condition, those lines, every pose, every body part, you're seeing that condition shine, even if Quentin has, better structure with a more aesthetically pleasing physique. So I'm not surprised by this at all. I kind of had that feeling in prejudging that the judges were going to go with Jordan. I'm kind of curious, though, to see the prejudging versus final scores on the scorecard. Let me check and see if think they're up yet, actually. Let's see if they're posted. Yeah, I'm not seeing the scorecards posted yet for open bodybuilding. So I guess we'll talk about those tomorrow and see what some of the other places were. But yeah, I think Justin looked awesome here. His conditioning just peaked really well for this show. Quentin.
You can't help but care. And that care can become your career. Visit ultimatemedical.edu.
Welcome to the PetSmart kitchen in the Just Food for Dogs kitchen. Today we are making a hearty beef and russet potato dip.
Quentin, I can't wait to see Quentin run it back at the Texas show next weekend. I think the scorecards are probably going to reflect that this was still a really close decision, and I think that Quentin still has a shot. Just a little bit more dialed in for Texas. I think Quentin is right there. He's right on the edge of finally getting his first professional win, and I think just a little bit more dialed, a little bit forward to the upper body. If he could really get that detail in his chest and his shoulders and the striations like Jordan had, I feel like he would look more complete. And like I said with Jordan had like that head to toe conditioning feel. With Quentin, I felt like the upper body wasn't quite there with the level of detail. For example, like the level of detail you were seeing in his quads, that really wasn't reflected in his upper body as much. He had a really good midsection, really great feet paper. His abs were pretty dialed in. I just really think Quentin is so close. He looks great here. This is probably the best look that I've seen from Quentin to date. I just saw a video of him emotional backstage at this show. And I feel like it's cool to see that Quentin is finally getting recognition that I feel like he deserved for a while. Because he really does. Like when I say genetics for bodybuilding, the structure for bodybuilding, this kid has that. And I feel like he's really starting to put it together. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens at next weekend's Texas show.
I haven't looked at much of the video so far, but in this video, a streamer is trying to get streaming moment. He's trying to clip farm, and he trolls a grown man, and the grown man comes and approaches him, also respects stuff, like, you know what I mean? And he just anyway.
Hey, lady. By the way, he was looking at her ass. Yeah? Quit looking. On some real shit. Chill with that.
So far, what makes this corny is that he most likely would have never said that to that man had he not been streaming and recording and had a whole audience to entertain. Who calls out another man that's with his woman for taking a look at another woman's, you know what I'm saying, shape? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? I don't even think that's that. I don't even think that's that streamer's girlfriend. The one he's checking him about. He's just trying to clip farm, bruh, and that's what makes it crazy.
What? No, I'm just saying, just respect women. You don't gotta be staring. Huh? I'm not talking to no one, bro.
I'm confused. That's why you should have been. Yeah.
Huh?
You should say.
Should have been what?
She can say something.
Nah. I'm just letting you know. Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Now, based on human behavioral patterns, whenever somebody is trying to look cool and trying to give themselves more clout and trying to be more liked by trying to embarrass somebody else to entertain other people, a lot of times they have certain types of actions. And the actions is when they get approached by that person and confronted by that person, they were trying to look corny, trying to make it look corny. They usually get more docile, more chill, because they don't really want, they ain't really trying to go there. But as soon as that person walks away, that's when they start talking trash again. And I think I did watch a little bit of the clip. I actually don't even remember. I don't remember if he did start talking trash when he walked away or not. But you could tell. That's usually what people do.
It's all good, yeah, I know it's good. Huh? Okay then, for sure. Okay, that's fine. Maybe you get a video too.
Alright.
Nothing, bro. Yeah? Okay, for sure. For sure, bro. Yeah, yeah.
How old is that?
1, 2, 3. You're a son.
And I always thought it was the corniest thing when people try to act tough in numbers. Like it's like he said, it's like what, a couple of them, and it's just one of him, and he talking crazy. He only talking crazy when he walk away. When he come him and approach him, he get more chill. That's corny. It's almost like YNs, bro. YNs typically, you know, you got some that will crash out, but most of the time, YNs are usually act tough in numbers. When they by themselves, they just cool people. Like they don't even be on that type of time. Like they just be like regular people. As soon as they get around a group of other ones, then now they want to act all, you know what I'm saying? So tough and everything like that. That's corny to me, bro. It's like, don't be different with a group of people than you are with yourself. But anyway, he just.
You don't have to be a VIP to get more than just savings with Geico. Every customer gets 24/7 fast-friendly claim support.
Could I get a picture?
Yeah, it's not like you run into animal celebrities every...
The 80s tuner era was a magical time. The year 2000 was fast approaching, and the imagination of car tuners ran wild with their vision of what the future looked like. One of the most interesting tuners, rather auto couturier, was a man by the name of Rainer Buchmann, who founded the tuning company BB. Now BB mainly focused on Porsches and worked on many different models. Their signature was the Polaroid stripe applied to the paint and the interior. The concept for the Polaroid colored stripes came about when Reiner would regularly visit the Frankfurt Polaroid office, since it was right next door to Reiner's business partner's Volkswagen dealership. Reiner got to know the director of design at Polaroid, and in 1976, during the time that Kodak was trying to break into the market, Polaroid planned to make a splash and display the BB Turbo Targa Porsche at the 1976 industry trade show called Photokina. As it was not desired to paint the entire car in multiple colorways, it instead had the two wide stripes all over the bodywork that showed the 6 colors in the rainbow. Now the BB Targa was displayed at Photokina and exploded on the scene. It made it onto different magazines, including Road and Track, which was huge at the time. And so BB chose to use this as their colorway for all their vehicles and as their signature touch, since it blew up so big across the world and everyone loved it. Many people were calling in and demanding these colors on their Porsches and other vehicles at the time, including Volkswagens and even Mercedes. Now I had to put the top back up because it was getting way too hot in this Florida heat. These vehicles were made for the Middle East, so it's no problem. This car was tested and made to be in hot climates, but today's an exceptionally hot day in South Florida. Fast forward to 1983, and Rainer had worked on different Mercedes models, more notably the CW311, also known as the Sierra. He also worked on different Mercedes models, but was faced with this one challenge. He felt like he wasn't able to drive Porsches and other convertible models at high speeds without noise leaking into the cabin or even the top ballooning, because at this time soft tops still didn't have the technology found in today's convertibles that can handle this type of wind and this type of pressure at high speeds, especially on the Autobahn. Also, Rainer wanted to develop a coupe that could seat 4 since he had 2 small children by this time in his life. The 500 SEC was the top spec buy and the most expensive platform he chose to build a convertible. In 1983, coach builder and tuner SGS Styling Garage had debuted their SGS Marbella convertible 500 SEC, a convertible SEC with an electric operated soft top, at the Geneva Motor Show. BB wanted to take this concept to the next level, and he did. They started conceptualizing how to create the Magic Top. They bought 2 models at the time. One they completely cut apart for experimental purposes, and the other was the first that they chose to start building the BB Magic Top. Now this was a crazy concept. To make a hardtop coupe transform into a convertible and do it all seamlessly was an incredible display of vision and engineering. Now Rainer wasn't the first to envision this concept. Other companies also toyed with the idea, like Ford in the 1950s and 1960s. French carmaker Peugeot came up with a similar concept with a car called the Eclipse in the 1930s, which had a manually operated hardtop that would retract. One of the first challenges that arose when making the BB Magic Top was the backlight. Rainer wanted to disappear into the trunk while the top was retracting. Now this is Europe, and of course you need a third brake light, and you had to have it to pass all of 2 safety checks. This particular model does not have it because it was a Japanese model that was ordered in 1986, and in Japan you do not need a third brake light. BB settled on the SLC brake light, which was the perfect shape and was able to move into the trunk and tuck away as the top came down. The BB Magic Top was approved by TÜV in Germany, the authority responsible for validating product safety. The examiners even certified that the top could be opened or closed while moving at speeds up to 50 kilometers an hour or 30 miles per hour. The BB Magic Top was unveiled at the 1984 Geneva Motor Show just 12 months after the SGS Marbella was unveiled. BB made incredible futuristic interiors with crazy reconfigured dashboards with lots of buttons and lots of LED lights. Peak 80s era comes to mind. They made 9 or 10 BB Magic Tops. Rainer is not sure and he cannot remember exactly, but most of them went to the Middle East, some went to Europe, and some went to Japan. We found this particular model here in Switzerland, but was ordered to Japan and spent most of its life between Japan and Europe, and now lives in Florida. Now we spoke to Mr. Rainer himself directly, and he told us this might be the greatest condition BB Magic Top left in existence. Something really interesting that happened this year when we displayed the BB Magic Top at Amelia Island and we released it on our Instagram. It got over 1 million views in a very short amount of time, and many people commented saying that this car right here was AI. There's no way that this vehicle was a real vehicle. So for people in 2025 to think that this is AI and it was created in 1983 is something crazy and a testament to the vision that Rainer Buchmann had when he created this vehicle. Such a futuristic vision that lasted throughout the test of time. Guys, this is not AI, and I'm going to show you right now. Let's park this up and take the roof off this BB Magic Top.
Most people are too lazy to do this, but it saves homeowner.
This BB Magic Top. Fort Lauderdale Beach, one of the most mythical SECs ever built by one of the greatest tuners from the 1980s, the BB Magic Top. This is one of the cars that people can never get their hands on, and now we're going to take a deep dive. So let's start at the front, and as we always do now, here we see the BB logo on this otherwise AMG bumper. Now usually BB would have front bumpers, side skirts, and back bumpers, but the builder of this car right here chose to opt out for AMG styling kits. Beautiful pearlescent paint. Now this is a trademark that BB did on all the BB Magic Tops. Now like we said earlier, this car was secured in Switzerland, but it had UK registration. And we like to keep it authentic to the cars when they arrive and keep the original plates. We have the original SEC grille, an iconic grille in all these cars, beautiful chrome accents, and the color matched hood badge for Mercedes-Benz going with the rest of the theme. Now let's go to the side and see what we got going on. We see these stock W126 wheels. These are the wheels you would see on all 126s in the era. These are not the original wheels that BB had put on the Magic Top, as we see in this picture. These are the original wheels that came with the car, but these are the wheels that the original owner ordered from BB. Stock wheels right here, color matched to the car. The BB center caps, giving it that nice touch. Moving along, we see the big BB sticker on the side of the car, letting the people know this is not a regular SEC when it rolls down the road. Now, the cool thing about the BB Magic Top is it does look stock when the roof is up. If you don't know, to the naked eye, this looks like a regular car. These little accents may tell you otherwise, like this logo right here. And we have these AMG side skirts. We see the color match cladding, keeping it real subtle with the body. Beautiful. We see this Japanese sticker right here. Pretty cool touch, and we see it on a lot of the cars that come out of Japan. BB wanted to make this car look seamless and look like a stock hardtop convertible. So when you look at the car, you see these seamless lines that are very hard to notice if you're not a Mercedes enthusiast. And we're going to see how this coupe transforms itself into a convertible in just a minute. But right now we're going to keep going around this BB and looking at more touches that were put by the tuner. Now coming to the back, we see this custom-made wing by BB to house the top as it comes back, and it retracts and sits right here. It cradles it perfectly, and beautiful stylings for the 80s that still complements the car with a futuristic look, a very cool wing that we never see on any other SEC, only the BB Magic Top. Now as we move down here, we see the stock Euro bumpers. So all the chrome was deleted on this car. No chrome on the bumpers, no chrome along the doors, no chrome anywhere, just pearl. Beautiful. And in the back, they made it all black. So black accents, very nice touch by BB. The Euro bumpers, you never can go wrong with them. They look beautiful every time. The SEC had beautiful styling to start with, and BB just added to the magic. This is where the money is right here, guys. When you're sitting behind a BB at the light, you will see this BB logo right here. So if you're ever near the vicinity of one of these stickers on one of these cars, you better jump out and talk to the driver and find out what special unicorn he's sitting in. Let's take a look inside of this BB Magic Top. The interior has also a lot of magic on the inside. Let's see what we got going on. So first thing we notice when we open the door is these Blaupunk speakers all throughout the door panel. We have 4 massive Blaupunk speakers. Blaupunk was one of the greatest companies to do audio in the 80s in Germany, and it's in all of these special BB Magic Tops. BB went crazy with Blaupunk speakers in all of his builds. He put it in his Porsches, in the Volkswagens.
today I want to show you how I went from getting less views than a Minecraft Let's Player to now the algorithm literally sending me 1,000 to 2,000 views every single hour. And in turn, that blew up my subs, helped me make a bunch of money, and helped me monetize not just this channel, but a bunch of different channels as well. Some of them with literally one video. So let's go through this step by step. Step number one is we need to figure out why the algorithm isn't promoting your channel. Now, most people think that the algorithm just hates them, but there's a way to actually go into your analytics and verify whether it is the algorithm that hates you or whether there's a deeper problem at play. So just come to your YouTube studio, this is just like a random example channel I have, then come down to content, and then in content, come to whatever video you think the algorithm hates. Let's say this one's been up for over 2 years and only got 30 views in that period of time. Then go to analytics by hopping over this button here. Last, we're going to go across to this reach tab. And what we're going to look at is this number here, impressions. Because impressions essentially tells us how many times the algorithm has promoted our video. And in the case of this video, you can see here, even though we've only got 29 views, the algorithm has actually promoted our video 400 times. The problem is our video just actually isn't enticing enough to viewers. If we come and look at the retention of this video, we're going to overview and come down here. By the time the video reaches the 10-second mark, over 50% of viewers have left the video. And so the issue here is like what Mr. Beast said.
The algorithm didn't like that video? No, the audience didn't like that video.
It's just that the data is showing us here that the video isn't resonating or clicking very well with viewers. And this is going to be some tough love here. It's going to make a bunch of you leave. But a lot of you, if you actually were honest with yourselves, went into your analytics and had a look at them, the majority of you would have this exact same problem here. And that's totally okay. I'll show you how to fix that in this video. It's actually easier than you would think. But really quickly, I know there's going to be a bunch of you in the comments, and rightly so, being like, but Marcus, my content is good. I get great feedback on it from viewers. I get great feedback on it from my friends and family. And I think here's what I would say to you. It's not necessarily that your video is objectively bad, because it's not about whether or not your video is good or bad. It's about whether or not your video is better than the alternative options viewers have to choose from. So for example, if you look at this video, it's like how to make a simple Minecraft lightsaber. Look at the title and thumbnail of this video. Now, if we just go to YouTube and type in how to make a Minecraft lightsaber, look at some of the other options that show up. There's this video here, there's this video here, there's this video here, and without even watching these, just from looking at the titles and the thumbnails, these videos are so much more enticing, which explains why this video is being promoted to over 400 people, and yet not very many of them resonated with it, and so the video didn't get much love from the algorithm. So I want to show you one of my favorite ways to create great videos in any niche, get a ton of views, even if you don't have the same amount of time and money to invest into your content as maybe some of your competitors. In fact, I've used this process to single-handedly blow up videos in niches with other YouTubers that are literally full-time, have like 10+ man teams and hundreds of thousands of budgets. And it takes you like 1 weekend to do. You just got to work smarter, not harder. And so that leads us to step 2. What we need to do is come to YouTube and start typing in what I call umbrella terms that are related to your niche. So let's say, for example, you run a how to make money online channel. Umbrella terms for that niche would be like make money. And when you type that in, a bunch of videos are going to show up, but more importantly, we're going to look at the channels. So I'm going to hold down Control on my keyboard and just open up all these different videos. And you would go through and do this to all of the videos that show up. I'm just going to do it to these ones for now. And then what I'm going to do to every single one of these channels is subscribe to all of these. And then what I'm going to do is on these videos, I'm going to go down to the recommended videos here. And there's going to be a bunch of other videos from other channels. And I'm also going to open up these and do the exact same thing. I'm going to go to this one, hit subscribe, this one, subscribe. So I'm going to subscribe to all of these. And basically what we're trying to do here is you're trying to build up a list of all of the players or competitors in your niche. So for me, on this channel, for example, I have a list of over 300 channels posting how to grow on YouTube related content. And this will probably take you a couple of hours to do. It'll be super boring, but I promise you it'll be worth it. Stick around, you'll see why.
A few moments later.
And now that I have these channels in my niche, what I'm going to do is an analysis of all of them to figure out what's making them successful. And there's a very specific way I do this. So what I'll do is I'll come to this website, velio.co. And you can do what I'm about to show you completely for free. It's just Velio saves a bunch of time, makes it easier. So for the sake of this video, I'll show you that. And once you're logged in, what you're going to do is come down to saved channels. And then come over to create list and create a channel list and just title it whatever the name of your niche is. So I might do like make money channels, hit save, and that's going to create a list I can then click into. And then what I'm going to do is come to add channel. I'm going to add all the different channels I've found inside of the make money niche. So for example, I found this one, I copied the link, just paste this in track channel. And what you'll see is it's going to populate all the videos from this channel inside of this channel list. Now let's do this to this channel, for example. So I'm going to copy this link, add this channel, track it, and then we'll grab the videos from this channel and chuck them into the list as well. Do the same thing with this channel, chuck this in here.
How's that sauce looking?
this guy good or what?
It's clobbering time!
That's not really something I say.
Hold on!
I'll chuck them into the list as well. The same thing with this channel, chuck this in here. You can see now videos from this channel are showing up in here as well. And basically you're going to go through every single channel that you found in your niche, which I know is going to be a pain, but you only have to do this once, and just add them into your track channel list. Now, I've already done this to save a bit of time earlier into this business/make money online channels. I think I've got about 150 different channels with all of their videos loaded inside here. And now we'll do an analysis of these channels to figure out what is getting them views. Because once we have that information, we can use that to help get views for our own channel, regardless of how small it is. So what I like to do is come into filters here, this button here. I like to come down to multiplier and set this to...
And the movement goes here. See, I'm pushing into the app. I always gotta stay small. Now, one other way I like to do it, my favorite all time, don't take anything, it's just to sit and crunch, like this. You can feel the pressure. As you crunch down, you lift up. So everything is moving, you're crunching it out.
And you lift the hip. You're lifting the hip.
Yeah. The membership program is designed so that we can have a broader audience. And we're trying to teach people how to train. A lot of people think they know how to train until they actually join the site and start to do the program. You get dealt with. How do you really do those steps? So we got to show those points. Anyone can train. Everyone knows how to train. But to actually hone in on those muscle groups that you need to hone in on, make your body look different. And that's the whole thing. Make awareness and make it look different. My program is especially for every person, I don't care who it is, male or female, because we can bring it out. So it's designed for everyone. That's it. There. Now, there you go. Push, breathe out. Good. That's it. Okay.